going to defer to Senator King. Senator King, no, Senator Hickenlooper, you all fight it out.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you all for spending time here today. I think it's a fascinating discussion. I want to start with Mr. Wheeler. We have a company in Colorado called Guild that does training for large companies, say Walmart or Chipotle, that their employees want to take skills-based classes or at colleges or universities, wherever. And Guild does polling of entry-level engineers and coders across professions. And they recently, one of their most recent polls saw a dramatic increase, like near universal, in the level of concern expressed at AI to these beginning level engineers, and across every industry, and every industry, of course, needs technology. And I think this, the intense computing resources that are needed to train and run AI models at scale raise a lot of questions you're already addressing. NRail out in Colorado operates a high-performance computing data center that is designed to be the world's most energy efficient. I think when we look at some of these things, what other types of efficiency can we look at, Mr. Wheeler, recognizing that there is a level of anxiety that has, come up in terms of the workforce?
Yeah, thanks for the question, Senator Hickenlooper, and I'm very familiar with the facility and some of the machines there at NRail, being Colorado's my home state. But I think there's, kind of multiple ways to look at this. So I think, as you say, all the excitement around AI, there's a lot of people wanting to get into that as, maybe they're transitioning careers, but understandably, concerned with some of the risk around it. We have something we say internally a lot is, look, AI is not going to replace that scientist or that engineer, editor, teacher, you name it, the list goes on. But those same individuals, those same professionals that harness AI and use AI will likely replace those that don't. So that's why I think from a workforce and a transition, we're seeing many people wanting to get into that as a career. So they recognize the opportunity. And the great thing about Guild is, maybe they're not taking people that historically came up from a STEM background or education, but guess what? With all of the tools, everything that's being developed, suddenly you don't have to necessarily be the deep mathematics expert. You can be very proficient with the tool sets that are out there if you've got that willingness to learn. Now, that being said, what are those guardrails that are in place, or how do we think about some of the risk associated with the technology? You asked about what other things can be done. I think NRail is a great example of showcasing a lot of what can be done, whether it's from the energy recapture of those systems, as others on the panel have stated, just providing access to that type of infrastructure and compute is a big part of kind of lowering the barrier to maybe some of the anxiety and being part of the solution, because if you've got a passion around that as a field of study on how to, mitigate, some of the risk around this, well, having access, enables you to, develop and propose those type of solutions.
All right. Thank you for that. Ms. Puglisi, a lot of the innovations fueled by AI come from fundamental and applied research that's adopted by small businesses. And in your testimony, you highlight about how investing in research supports our country's technological leadership. How will the historic investments into translational research from CHIPS Plus Science Act grow our technical workforce and within our innovation economy?
Yes. I think those investments are essential, because I think what gets lost a lot of times are those transition points And so we focus on, a lot of funding focuses on basic research or focuses on applied. And I think what some of the advantages that are focused on in the CHIPS and Science is that it looks at those transition points and how do we move technology so that it best serves the public and best serves society. And so having those kinds of skills, those are very different kinds of skills than actually doing the research, but having that support across what we call the valley of death or other kinds of challenges are really, I think, important to kind of keep that spark going.
Great. Thank you on that.
Thanks.
I appreciate it. I'll yield. And Senator King, I'll wander over and make sure that that seat is covered if you take a couple extra minutes.